This is assignment 1, social performance of organizations. Apple. Their slogan is Think Different. Their current mission statement as of 2017 is Apple designs Macs, the best personal computers in the world, along with iWork and professional software iLife. Apple leads the digital revolution with iPods and iTunes, an online store. In 2012, Apple was the largest publicly traded company in the world by market capitalization, with revenues exceeding those of Google and Microsoft combined. The company directly employed more than 60,000 people and operated more than 350 stores in 10 countries, as well as its iTunes online music store. Fortune magazine had named Apple the most admired company in the world for 4 years in a row. The ways that stakeholders can influence the organization's financial performance are through the customers, the suppliers, top management, employees, and the shareholders. The customer impacts the environmental strategy through price, demanding quality. Suppliers affect the environmental strategy by the energy organization has and adding ideas and improvements. Top management influences organization by the long-term and short-term goals and by the budget. Employees' participation is very important to come up with new solutions and improvement in reducing waste and energy in production process. The late Steve Jobs commented in an email in 2010 saying, "We require all of our suppliers to certify in writing that they use conflict-free materials." Since the 1990s, Apple had outsourced almost all of its manufacturing to China. The company's biggest supplier, Foxconn, had become the largest manufacturer of consumer in the world. The Foxconn facility in Shenzhen, China, one of 3 audited by the FLA, operated like a good-sized city, with its own dormitories, cafeterias, hospitals, swim, stores. It had 300,000 workers, many of them young women and men from rural areas. It made electronics for Sony, Dell, IBM, and other major brands, as well as Apple. In 2006, a British newspaper ran a story alleging mistreatment of workers at the Shenzhen facility. Apple investigated and found some violations of its supplier code of conduct, which had been introduced in the year before, in 2005. The following year, the company published its first annual Supplier Responsibility Progress Report. By 2011, Apple had inspected nearly 400 suppliers and had terminated 11 for serious violations. During peak production periods, all 3 factories, which were operated by Taiwanese firm Foxconn, had exceeded the mandated limit of 60 hours of work per week, and many employees had been required to work more than 7 days in a row. 14% of workers had not received pay for overtime. Workers were paid in 30-minute increments, so if an employee worked 55 minutes of overtime, she would be paid for 1/2 hour and not the full period worked. Almost 2/3 of workers said that their pay did not meet their basic needs. Average wages at Foxconn plants were about $426 to $455 a month, including overtime. Almost half said they experienced an accident or injury at work, or had personally witnessed one. Many workers said they were in pain by the end of their workday. Particularly worrisome was the FLA's discovery that employees weren't receiving wages at all. Just 1 week later, Apple announced it had joined the Fair Labor Association, the first electronics company to do so. The FLA, founded in 1999, was a non-profit alliance of companies, universities, and human rights activists committed to ending sweatshop conditions. At Apple's request and with the company's financial support, the FLA immediately undertook the most extensive audit conducted of conditions in China's electronics supply chain. Auditors spent weeks inspecting Foxconn's three big Chinese factories, and 35,000 workers filled out anonymous questionnaires on iPads about their experiences. In response to the FLA's findings, Apple issued a statement saying, "Our team has been working for years to educate workers, improve conditions, and make Apple's supply chain a model for the industry, which is why we asked the FLA to conduct these audits." Foxconn agreed to reduce overtime from 80 to 36 hours per month, while raising wages to prevent workers from losing income. It also agreed to pay workers retroactively for unpaid overtime and to improve health and safety conditions. In 2011, Apple announced that it would no longer automatically track an iPhone's location, but download a subset or cache of the database from each phone. That limited access to data prohibited Apple from locating the user who was using Wi-Fi or a cell phone, which is a big deal because people were feeling like their information could be sold to the highest bidder. So Apple is a company that has been innovative from the start with their CEO, with their products. They're scheduled for a launch every other year. Every year you feel it. The new Apple's coming out and it's going to be bigger. It's going to be better. It's going to have more features. We expect that. And it's a brand that we all have come to know and trust. Simon 1. Thank you.